What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're going to 1675. Unless, of course, we lose every game, and then we'll be going the other way, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's play e4. Playing a 1719. And a Caro-Kann. Okay, I'm going to play my normal line here that I've studied. And let's see what's going to happen. All right, so we're going to go bishop c4. This is a gambit. And we're going to play f3 next to get our knight out quickly and open up the f file for some tactics. So yeah, bishop f5 is definitely a move. Knight f6 or captures. Yep. So let's go ahead and take this. And now we'll probably see knight to f6, I imagine, or e6. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and castle. And this is all theory that I have learned. It's in my offbeat gambit course. But what we're doing is setting up some shenanigans here along the f file. So if black is not careful, we have a nice little tactic. Bishop to d6. All right, so that's an interesting move. Usually the knight comes out. I'm trying to see if this changes anything. Normally I'm going to be playing knight to g5 here, but I do want to think through this a little bit. Are there any tactics? I don't think so. So knight to g5, still a tricky move. I think I'll probably still play that. And the tactic here has to do with the fact that if I take this, the king has to take, and then bam, I can grab the bishop because the pawn is then pinned. All right, so we'll see if our opponent sees that and see how they're going to react to this. So you can't play a move like h6 just to take, attacking the knight because I'm just going to take, right? Isn't this just sandbagging? Well, kind of, except sandbagging you intentionally. You're a high-rated player, intentionally lose your points, enter into a tournament with, bad motives of trying to like win some low-rated section. The whole point is to teach people how to improve gradually, and everybody that loses gets their points back. So, yeah, I mean, I could see how you would say that, but it's not quite the same thing. Okay, knight to f6. So I believe we do have attacking. Now, it's a question of which way do we want to do it. So there's actually two ways you can do this tactic. You can capture first, and when the king takes, you take with the rook. You can also take with the rook first, and then you follow up with a fork. And I don't know which one is better. I'm leaning towards actually this. There is going to be queen c7. We take the rook, we're going to lose this. So maybe I want to avoid that. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I can just go here. But I do have to watch out for some weaknesses then around my king. It's interesting because they're both pretty powerful moves, I think. This way, black's going to probably just bring the rook over, try to castle. The game's going to go on. Yeah, I'm going to take it with the rook. I'm going to take this way. We can check after the game with Stockfish on which one is the best, but I'm going to go this way for right now. So here we go. This is the fork. I'm expecting queen c7. The black's probably going to go for this pawn over here. And it's going to get pretty wild. Yeah, we'll see. Because there's going to be knight to g4 with the threat of coming in here. I would have a check though, and maybe I can start attacking black's king. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Bishop can go to g5. Black might try to move this bishop. And if I take check, I move over here. There's potentially a checkmate, yeah, that I have to watch out for. So very interesting position I think we're about to see real soon. That's one of the reasons I like this line too. It just leads to some really interesting and fun, games right from the beginning. Okay, he goes queen e7 instead. So, Interesting choice. Doesn't go for this, which I'm pretty happy about, actually, because that was kind of a scary move to me. I mean, I guess maybe what black is trying to do is actually sacrifice this, follow up with knight to g4, and then queen to h4. That's an interesting way to do it, too. Okay, well, regardless, I need to take the rook. Otherwise, I'm going to be down some material, and I think that's probably not good for me. So we'll go ahead and take the rook, and then we will respond depending on what black is going to do. This is an interesting move, I think. I don't know if it actually works, because all black has is the queen and the knight. That being said, queen and a knight can be very powerful, so it is interesting. Knight to g4, but what I might be able to do actually is just come up to g3. And then it doesn't allow the queen to come in. Yeah, maybe that's why it's good for me. If check, I always have bishop f4. Okay, yeah, so I feel comfortable about that now. I don't have to go back. All right. How's my leg doing? My legs are all right. I'm having some like lingering symptoms, which I'm not sure if it's COVID stuff that's still lingering or what exactly is going on. Okay, interesting. So black is probably trying to castle. So I could prevent that in two different ways. I could go check here. The king's going to have to move and then can't castle, obviously. Or I could just bring my knight back, which stops castling because you can't castle through a check. I'm leaning towards that because I don't want my knight to be stuck in the corner anyway. It also threatens the bishop. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Now, I guess if black does castle, I could still then play knight here, forking these and trade, which also would be probably pretty good. So maybe I could leave that and just play a move like bishop g5. So I'm leaning towards this or this. Queen e2 also forces a queen trade immediately. So let's see, we're up a piece at the moment. 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, we're just up a piece. So if that knight escapes, it's just a clear piece. So queen to e2 is interesting. Let's just say takes, maybe castles. And my knight could escape. Is there any way that my knight gets trapped? I don't believe so. Because even on knight to d5, I can always trade. Yeah, so, wow, okay. So this move, this, now I have 3 moves that I'm considering. And they all look pretty good, honestly. They all look pretty good. The nice thing about queen e2 and forcing the queen trade is that I just go into an endgame up my piece. Which is very nice. But I would have to retreat. Let's see. And then maybe knight d5. Maybe my knight actually does get trapped. As I look at that further. Okay. Okay. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and play knight to f7. I don't want it to get trapped. So I think this is the smart thing to do. We stop castling. We threaten this. Immediately get the knight out of there. Okay. And now I can simply trade. I could also go back. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and trade and then retreat. Keep it nice and simple. Or I could trade, throw in the check, and then retreat the bishop. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and trade. Let's play queen to e2. And again, trying to make it difficult for my opponent to castle, right? You cannot castle if you're in check, so black has to figure out how to deal with this. And I'm also defending this. Getting ready to do this at some point. Okay, they decide to move the king. So the king is now stuck in the center. I do have to watch out for rook to e8. But this is defended, so I don't have to move that. I could even go here to stop rook to e8. That's an interesting move. But I'm probably just going to play bishop g5. I just really want to get this rook into the game. I think that's important. This is defended. On rook to e8, I would probably just go back here. Oh, there's this. I just noticed that. That's actually a big deal because that's a fork. I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, that's a big one. I can't allow that with my bishop sitting there because then I'm losing my piece. Okay. But I almost made a mistake there. So with that being said, maybe I will play bishop f7 to stop rook to e8. I'm going to lose this, but just a pawn. I could play king in there or even just bishop e3. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. So it takes away rook to e8. Now, if black really wants to, they can probably play rook f8, make me move, and then go here. But I think that's okay too. Okay, so he goes for the check. Yeah, I'm going to play bishop e3. And this is with tempo on the queen. And notice now the rook can come over. And now black's in trouble. I don't think they could take that. I think they had to do something else. Not because of the pawn. I don't really care about the pawn. The big deal about that is that it opens up the file for the rook to attack the king. That's why it's so dangerous for black to take that pawn. And now I think they're in big trouble. Yeah, this is going to be devastating. Can you force a queen trade with the bishop and the queen? If you're talking about going here, yes, but I lose a bishop in that process, right? Queen takes, I take, and then I lose a piece essentially. So, okay, here we go. Let's bring the rook over with check, lining up on the king. And I didn't even really have to calculate exactly what black was going to do because this is just such a fundamental move, right? It brings a piece that's not doing anything into the game, a rook onto the open file. It's with check, so it forces black to respond. All of those things make it a very easy move to play without even really thinking, all right? And here I think I'm just going to go ahead, trade some stuff off. Like I said, I am up a piece, right? 3-2. So trading is going to be beneficial to me. Let's just make sure there's no blunders. I don't see any crazy tactics for black, so let's go ahead and trade some pieces off here. Okay, this way I think we can still take. And the reason is the queen can't take. So the knight's going to have to take, but then I could follow it up with c4. Or I could even play here right away. That looks like a pretty good move too, but then I have to worry about the bishop. Maybe here, followed by bishop d4, or takes, knight takes, c4. I'm going to get my piece back, but what about rook to e8? Do I get into trouble? That's the question. No, because I'm able to capture first with a fork. Takes, and we're fine. We're fine. Okay, so that seems like the simplest thing. Let's go ahead. Grab that pawn. Follow-up move is going to be c4, like I mentioned. And we're in pretty good shape. f4, interesting move. So black's going on the counterattack. I like the idea. I just don't know if that's going to be good enough. I don't know if that's going to be good enough because I have a powerful move here if I want to just win a rook. But is there something better? Maybe the king moves here. Yeah, I think I'm just happy with the rook. I don't see a forced anything. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I think I'm happy with just winning the rook. Yes, I'm going to lose this, but who cares? It's a good trade for me. So we'll go with the check. We'll grab the rook. Black's probably going to take here. Again, just kind of scanning, like, do I have any better moves? This looks pretty good, but again, I'm pretty happy with this endgame. It's pretty straightforward. Rather than get into time trouble, I'll just go ahead and take it. All right. Can I go here and take this? Pretty good, actually. Let's do that. That's a very powerful threat. The knight can't go there. If it goes here, I can take it. So I don't know how black's going to defend against this threat. All right, good game to our opponent. Let's check the game review here. Okay, 84, not too bad. Couple of inaccuracies in there. Let's take a look at what they were real quick. Let me put the eval bar on. There you go. Okay, brilliant move. Let me just see. Yeah, okay. So both moves were good, like I mentioned, but we did play the correct one. This was the better way to do it. All right. Yeah, queen c7 was better for black, because they could at least follow up with this. And I was thinking something like knight to g4 was going to be a little tricky. I have to watch out for this, but I do have some checks, and it's actually still pretty good for me. All right. Just trading. Okay, and then, yeah, really not much here. Okay, there was something here. There was a checkmate. So I had a feeling maybe there was, but I didn't see it. Yeah, it's mate in 7 from here, so it was not an obvious, easy one. Bishop c5. Okay, and what if king c7? This was the move that I wasn't really sure. Oh, I just take this way. I don't know why I didn't see that. That was actually pretty straightforward. So there is a checkmate here if you're curious. Queen to c6, and then a3, b4. Checkmate with a pawn. Wow, very nice. Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling, but I just didn't see it. But rather than get low on time, I just said, you know what? I'm going to be up a rook. That's going to be easy enough to win. And so that's what happened, right? Okay. I'm going to stretch my legs just for a minute, and then we'll play a new game. Do an ELO poll? Wait, what's the poll for? What was my best ELO? All right. You do that. How about this? Nelson's highest blitz rating in online chess. So my highest blitz rating that I ever reached in online chess on any platform, not just chess.com, any platform. What do you think it is? I'm going to give you guys 4 options, and you can do that while I stretch my legs. Be right back. My highest rating. All right. What do you guys think? 2,400. 60% think it's 2,400. Good guess. Good guess. Correct answer is 2,600, actually. I don't know if I've reached 2,600 on chess.com, but I used to play on ICC way back in the day. And when I was going to UTD and playing more seriously, I got up to like, I want to say 2630 something on ICC. So 2,600. You guys are correct. All right, let's play a new game. You go back over to this one. Oh, I didn't update the wins. Let's go 185. And all right. G6. Okay, so there's a couple of ways we can play against this. I'm going to try something, and we'll see if we can do it. So I'm going to get 2 pawns in the center. And then I'm going to play F3 right away. This is called What is this? I think it's called the lion's jaw or lion's claw. Okay. He's doing it differently. Basically what you do is you create this battery immediately. And usually they play knight f6 and bishop g7. And you can just go there right away. This person is kind of approaching it differently. So we're not going to be able to do exactly what I was planning on. But that's okay. Yeah, they're going to expand over here. So I think a3 temporarily stops this. And even if they play a5, you don't have to worry because you can take and you have a pin. But eventually they will defend that and they will be able to play. Whereas if I don't play a3, I can always just jump my knight around somewhere. But I think I am going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Kind of slow down what black's trying to do. And one way is d5. And the reason I'm going to try to play d5, I actually think I am going to play d5 right here. The reason is because if I undermine this pawn is very weak. Notice how I have two pieces attacking it. So d5, what is black going to do? I'm threatening to just take and then win a pawn. And I don't see an easy way for them to deal with that. If they take me, then my knight jumps in with the tempo on the queen. That looks pretty good. And I could take this with the bishop. Yeah, so I think this is a very good move. Just trying to see if I'm missing anything. b4, like I mentioned, is not an option because we would have the pin. Yeah, I think this is a very good move. Yeah, bishop b7 is a move, but I'm just going to take it, and then I'm going to win a pawn over here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, that's also a move. Let's see, but again, I'm going to take this and win a pawn. I think I'm going to win a pawn, unless there's a tactic here. Let's see. So if I take with the bishop, there is this move. But I could take back. I'll lose the knight, but then I'll get a rook. Queen sort of gets trapped, but it's probably just temporary. The other way is I take this, but then I have to worry about the bishop coming in, which I don't like. So let's see. Takes. The other option is I just take the queen. I'm going to lose my queen. 3 pieces. Yeah, I also win a pawn. So however you look at it, I win a pawn. Or maybe even the exchange. All right, so we're going to take this. Now that the tactics seem to work out in my favor. And black does just retreat. Okay, so they're just going to take the pawn loss and move on with the game. That's fine. So we have a couple of options here. We want to be aggressive. We have knight to d5. Or I can just simply do something like this. The only thing about this is I don't really have like a good follow-up. What am I going to do after that? But I think I am just going to develop this knight because why not? Adds a defender here. It's ready to castle. The safety over on the king side. That's the nice thing about the setup too, is sometimes you can castle queen side if you want to attack over here if black castles. But you can also do what I'm doing here and just put your king there if you need to, because clearly black was planning on attacking me over here, right? So I'm probably just going to castle this way. So, okay, I don't have to do that. I mean, I can just leave it if I want. Or I could take it either way. It's fine. Probably just going to leave it and go ahead and get castled. Because if they do this, then my knight jumps into a very nice square, and it looks pretty good. Only thing I would be potentially concerned about is am I losing a pawn after the queen moves, let's just say. No, probably not, because I can always go back. Yeah, I think it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and castle. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to lose some material there, but I don't believe so. We can pre-move the recapture there if that's what black's going to do. And okay. Queen to d5. Knight to d4. Queen to d5 takes second fork capture here, but then this guy's, I don't really want to lose a pawn there, so I think I'll do this. Blocking off that bishop temporarily, also gaining a tempo on the queen. And notice we have a huge lead in development. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, they're going to take it? I could take this way. This way gains a tempo. Yeah, I guess we'll just take this way. Back the queen. I don't want my knight to be sitting there, potentially getting captured, so this way was a simple and easy solution for me. A4, if the queen takes, looks to me like I could trap it. I think I will do that. And what I'm doing with A4 is creating an outpost for my knight right here. So I'm going to hop into B5, and it's defended, and it's very difficult for black to do anything about that. They want to go here, obviously, and fork these guys. But if I go here, then we have queen d4 hitting the rook. They take me, I take them. They take me, I have this. They go king f8. I can do something like this or like this. Looks pretty good. I could also just play b3 and say, nope, you can't go there. Maybe that's even simpler. We'll just play b3. We won't even let the knight come in the first place. I'm going to put my knight there. I'm going to probably play c4. Totally lock down everything on the queen side. And yeah, feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Going here next. Notice we have pressure on the pawn. Black's trying to castle, which is fine. I don't really care. I mean, if I really want to, I could stop it. But I'm also thinking if they do castle, then I can go and attack the king over there. So let's go ahead and jump the knight to b5. Seems like a nice square. Go ahead and play c4. And notice how I've like totally shut down everything over here. There's not much black can do. Even if they put some rooks here, they're not doing anything. I'm also clamping down on the center, making it hard for black to strike with d5, right? Can't really play e6 or they lose this. And so there's just not a lot of options for black in this position. Okay, they want to come here, which is probably a good idea. Now, I could still just take that, so I'm not super concerned. Could also try to do something over here on the king. So here, queen d4, we're threatening this to go for checkmate. That looks pretty good. Let's do that. You know, usually when you fiend Keto and you lose that bishop, but your opponent still has that color bishop, it's very, very dangerous. Oh, they're just going to... They're going to allow me to take that because they want to do this? Does that actually work? Okay, I might just go here. Yeah, I think I will. So what I'm doing is I'm defending, but I'm also attacking. And I'm also getting ready to play f4 because once I chase that knight away, this is checkmate. That's it. So this is a huge threat black has to deal with. I'm also just going to take their rook next move probably. So yeah, okay, so they save the checkmate. And now I just probably, like I said, take the rook. So we're up the exchange, we're up a pawn. And now it's a question of can I simplify and, you know, not get into trouble with time. It's really the only way I see myself losing this game is if I get too low on time. So let's bring this rook to the open file, put some defenders on defense on that square, also pressure on this and this. And I'm going to start actually thinking about playing b4 just to kind of trade some things off. Get this pawn maybe pushing to, again, trade some more pieces off. Because my rooks aren't going to be super effective until I can get rid of some pawns. I need to open up some files. Otherwise, you know, black can just sit here all game and kind of just blockade everything. So, maybe even this is an idea to think about. I don't know if I'm quite ready for that, but it would give me some attacking opportunities. Speaking of attacking opportunities, now we can take it with the rook. Notice the pattern. Notice the pattern. Very nice. So let's go ahead. Just verifying that everything looks good. I think so. And black can't take because they get forked. Swifty, your first time watching live. Hey, welcome. Glad you could make it. Peter Potzer, is Potzer a Peter? That's a good question. I don't know. Hey, Hayden. Welcome. All right, so he wants to take the rook now. So, of course, now's the time to move it. Where do we want to move to? I'm going to just camp it right here. Very well defended, also putting pressure on the knights. And I'm eyeing not only capturing this, maybe even sacking here to get at the king and just open everything up. Also just doubling up now that we have an open file to work with. It's much better for the rooks. We need a queen sack here? Oh, that's how I'll lose if I do that. Maybe we'll get an opportunity later. How's my health? It's okay. Still have some like stuff going on with my legs that I'm not sure about. Just like random aches and pains. But mentally, I'm feeling better. I'm not as tired mentally and stuff, so that's good. Okay, so yeah, I think what we're gonna do here, generally speaking, 2 pieces is better than a rook. So as long as there's no tactical reason, which I don't believe there is, we're gonna take it. So we're gonna get rid of the knights, and we only lose a rook. That's a good trade, right? I mean, you can do the math. 3 and 3 is 6. I only lost 5. Pretty happy with that. All right, he does go for the check. I'm going to play queen to d4, offering the trade. I'm happy to trade because I'm up a piece, so it's and some pawns. Very easy endgame. Why not take the other knight? Yeah, just to answer that question real quick. So our opponent resigned. If I take this way, the problem is they don't have to take with the pawn. They could take with the knight. And then I actually just lost my rook for a knight, right? You're right. If they take this way, then sure, that makes sense because I doubled the pawns. But it wasn't a sure thing. Whereas this way, they only have one option, and I can guarantee the trade. Good question, though. So yeah, good game to our opponent. Let's check the game review here. And 89, 79. Okay, not too bad. Let's see. Did we miss anything obvious? Or was it a pretty well played game? Let's put the eval bar on real quick. Okay, so yeah, that was a good move. And you could see our opponent kind of got a little ambitious over there, right? And I noticed that it was going to be hard for them to defend all of these light squares. So just want a pawn. So I missed a tactic here. It must be knight to d5, I guess. Yes, that's the move, but why is it so powerful? Does anyone see why knight to d5 is so powerful? Ooh. Oh, they're very good. Okay, wow. Does anybody see why knight to d5 is such a powerful move? Follow up with the bishop. Fork. Knight can go to b6. Because of the fork on c7. Okay. So you guys are kind of on the right track. So we go here. Of course, black has to move the queen. Probably going to go back here. There's no fork on c7 because the queen is defending it. So that's not the answer. Somebody said bishop to b6. Yeah, that's a good move. That is a very good move, taking advantage of the pin. So that's Stockfish's second choice, bishop b6. But there's also a very forcing tactic, bishop takes d7. And however black recaptures, you have the follow-up fork here. Wow, and it's even saying queen takes a5 is even better. Wow, than knight to b6. That's amazing. But again, in here, you have knight to b6 with the fork as well, and it's defended with the bishop. So very nice little move there. I missed that one in the game. Okay. That being said, castling was not really a bad move. It's just when you miss a forcing tactic, that's why it gets the blunder. Yep. Okay. And then queen c3 was pretty good. I don't think there was too much else missed here. We had the brilliant rook takes d6. And there you go. All right, cool. Pretty well played game. So 1670, I need one more to get over 1675. Let me update this real quick. 186. What's your opinion on the King's Indian defense for 1300s? Yeah, I think the King's Indian is pretty solid if you learn the ideas behind it. The nice thing about the King's Indian is that you can pretty much play it against anything, right? Like anything. Even if, you know, somebody plays e4 against you, if you really want to, you could play d6 and knight to f6 and g6, and you're basically doing the same stuff. Now, it's a little bit different because the bishop can go on c4, which kind of changes some things, but you're going to be familiar with a lot of the tactics. You're going to be familiar with a lot of the ideas, and you can play it as white too, right? You can, you know, you're white, you just play knight f3 and you do your exact same stuff. So that's a huge plus for the King's Indian. You can pretty much just play it all the time. Whereas, let's just say you learn an opening against the French defense, right? And you're going to study the mainline French. Well, guess what? How many times are you going to actually get to play that, right? Only when your opponents play the French. So you have to learn a bunch of stuff in that, you know, scenario. You have to learn the Sicilian, you have to learn Caro-Kann, and all these other things. So, okay. How many brilliant moves do you make per game? Seems like one per game, at least for this time around. I don't know. No, it's probably like one brilliant every like 5 games on average, if I had to guess. What's the best opening for 900 or 800? What's the best color? Is red or blue or yellow the best color? I don't know. I'm going to stretch my legs. I'll be right back. All right, here we go, guys. 1675 could be the game. Did we get white 3 games in a row? We did, right? That's weird. Oh, the French. You know what I might do? You know what I might do, guys? I might try to play an opening here that I haven't played in a while. But I can only play it if they play bishop b4. Yeah, this is different. This is different. Let's play a gambit. Let's play, what is this called? The Geertz-Peters gambit. Okay. I haven't studied this. It's kind of similar to the gambit I play against the Caro-Kann. Probably not as good in this setup. But, ooh, queen h4. Interesting move. Huh. Well, I probably got to play g3. I don't think there's any decision here, really. I don't want to move my king and not be able to castle. So g3 has to be played. I don't know if that's good for black, because now I can recapture and get 2 pawns here in the center, which is going to be pretty nice. Now, I do have this, so I'm going to probably have to put the bishop here, but that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's go ahead and take. Now we have the 2 pawns, which I'm pretty happy about. That's the thing about when you play a move like f3. That's why they usually have to take you, because if they don't, when you take back, you get these 2 pawns, which is kind of nice. Now, I don't want to take this way and allow some shenanigans like this, so I'm probably just going to push by. Probably just going to push by. And the nice thing here is that I can take this way and have a passed pawn already, which is something that's, you know, black's going to have to be careful of. Or I could take with the knight and just sink that knight into d5. Problem with that is this pawn might become weak. So yeah, I probably will take with the pawn, I think. I'm assuming black is going to take that. Oh, they push by. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with this, because this guy right here, you know, if we go into an endgame, black just has to constantly watch out. I'm 3 spaces away from becoming a queen. They have to leave something guarding this literally all game. So I like that. I do like that. Now, question is, how do we want to develop our pieces? Seems like the bishop should go there, but then it's also like, just hitting some pawns. Check. Maybe. Knight of 3. Very interesting position that we have here. But I am going to take a minute. I just want to kind of think through, like, how do I want to set up my pieces? I'd like the castle kingside, that's for sure, because the rook's going to be very powerful on the f-file. This is not terrible either with the rook there, but I can just move that. I think my king's going to be good over here. Probably will put the bishop on g2, more for the safety of my king than anything else. But it does support these pawns, so I guess I'll do that. Okay, let's do that. Knight's going to go here or here. I'm not sure which, and then I'm going to castle. I think that's what we're going to do. This guy's probably going to e3, but maybe it'll go to g5 if the knight comes out. Okay, so that maybe this is now going to happen. Here's what I'm thinking. If I go here, black's going to play like b6. Do I really like my bishop there? The knight's putting a lot of pressure on the center, so I think I'm okay going bishop g5 and trading that off. On bishop e7, I will have to take it. And the reason I say I'll have to take it is because there's this tactic. Well, you guys can tell me. If black plays bishop e7 and I don't take the knight, let's just say I play knight here, what would black do? What would black do? Does anybody know? Okay, he's going for a totally different approach. Somebody said h6, then g5. Knight takes e4. Nope, nope. So if black were to play bishop e7 and I go here, the move is knight takes d5. And basically it unleashes an attack on my bishop. So that if I take this guy, I lose a bishop. And if I take here, the knight retreats. And I essentially just lose a pawn on d5. That's what I was afraid of. But it didn't do that. So I think I'm going to go here. And I could take this too. I don't know if I'm going to get into trouble if the knight gets there. No, I don't think so. I'm going to go here. And if black wants to do this, go ahead. I say go ahead. I'm going to play rook b1. I'm going to gain a bunch of tempos. And it's just, it can't be good for black. There's no way that you can get away with that when you have 3 pieces on the back rank. And I have all my pieces developed. There's just no way. Hayden, this series and morning coffee is the best. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay, h6. So probably will take that. I don't like the queen stopping me from castling, but I don't really want to go back here. Yeah, so, okay. Interesting thing I'm thinking about is going knight to b5, threatening this. Now, how does black stop that? Well, you could play knight a6, but then I might be able to play d6. Shuts in the bishop. Bishop can't take me. Now, this guy could come out, though. Yeah, maybe it's not very good. Maybe it's not. Okay. Rook to f1 is a move. Then I can't castle that way, but I can't castle that way anyway. Play queen d7 or queen d3 first. All right, let's go ahead and play rook f1. And I guess we will have to adapt our plan here. Castle queenside. Okay, so he's putting pressure here. That's very well defended, though. Probably going to go queen d3, only because I don't really see what's the point of going to d2. I can't really go anywhere. Queen d3 gives me some options over here and over here. So let's do that. Getting ready to castle this way. It's surprising that I don't have any more tactics, considering black has no pieces developed. But sometimes that happens when the center is totally locked up. You don't always have an immediate tactic, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Now, unless I'm missing something, like with the sacrifice here, which very well could be, you know, pushing this forward, jumping the knight in, I don't know. I just don't see it. So, we go here. No, we can't do that. It's defended. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and castle now. You know what? I actually, in hindsight, I could have even played king f2 and did this if I really wanted my king over there. But, okay. Yeah. What if I play knight a4? What's going to happen? Because I want to just jump in there. Knight to d7. Queen to c3, attacking this. No, it's already defended. Kind of a tough position, honestly, to find something to do. h3, g4, jump my knight here. That's one idea. I could just tuck my king over here, get it off the diagonal. Black's probably going to try to castle and attack me. Yeah, all right, we'll do this. We'll go for this one. g4, maneuver our knight over here, or something like this. g4, and play a little bit faster. I'm getting kind of low on time, and game's not really progressing, so I need to make some moves. I don't want to get flagged without even putting my opponent in a position where they have to think, right? So that's what I'm going to try to do now. I want to at least make them have to make some tough decisions. Okay, and I'm going to start by hopping my knight in here. Put some pressure on. If they take me, I'm jumping up with my rook, and I'm going to start doubling up, and could even take this way and use this square for my knight. Ooh, that's not a bad idea either. Yeah, both of these look pretty good. I can't take this way because the... Can I take that? Can I trap the queen? Goes here or here. I can go to that. No, because you can go to d4. Okay, or h4. Yeah, I can get away. Never mind. All right, I thought I could maybe trap the queen, but no. So this way, we use this square for our knight. Ooh, it kind of unleashes the bishop. This way, yeah. Now he's gonna go check, so I'm gonna lose a move, but I still have that really nice square. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. That looks very good. Notice how I'm opening that up for my knight. And I'm also at the same time kind of doing this. We gotta waste a move here to get out of the check, but we still have this coming next. And it's black can't stop that. So that's good. Also, this is something to keep an eye on. F6 is going to be a powerful move because of the knight and rook combo. Knight to e4, very powerful move. How does black stop that? I don't know. I don't know. All right, they're counter-attacking. That's one thing. I'm going to swing over here. I'm going to swing over here. Pawn is stuck. I'll take the bishop, so you can't do that. H4, G5 now is also an idea, right? And still, knight to E4. Knight to E4 is such a nice square for the knight. Just so beautiful. Look at that. We got the rook lined up with this guy. This guy. Everything is set up nicely, and black's pieces are just kind of looking awkward. Okay, the question is, do we play it now? Then F6 really locks everything up. I think now might be the time. I think we play F6 first. If they want to take, fine. Then we jump in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bam. This is kind of an advanced move, but what you have to understand is if I didn't go there, black was going to go there. And once they get that pawn there, it's much more difficult for me to do anything. So this way, it's just, hey, opens it up, and now I can build the pressure. And how is black going to defend? I mean, yes, they can play knight to d7, but I'm probably going to come here, and I'm just going to keep attacking stuff. And I'm basically saying there's got to be a way for me to just break through, essentially. I mean, look at the king, right? That's totally worth giving up a pawn. Ooh, I can even just jump back here. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Huh? Huh? That's one option. The other option is to go ahead and double up the rooks. Which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? Wow, so good. I don't know. Let's do this. Because here's the thing. Not only am I threatening the fork on the king and the queen, I'm also threatening, let's just say black moves here. I'm threatening to go there anyway and look at the queen and the bishop. Queen can't defend the bishop anymore. You got to move it back, and I take the bishop. So I don't know how black's going to deal with all of those things. There's so many threats, right? Even my bishop can come up. I still have ideas of doing the rooks, right? Something like this or like that. I mean, there's so many moves. Oh. Is doubling slow? Yeah, I don't know. I think we definitely had time to double, but this just looks more forcing. But yeah, no, I think doubling was definitely a good plan too. Because I don't know how black's going to add another defender on there and just one more move, right? And I'm just going to basically take this. But this one also looks really good, so I don't know. And we have this as well that we can, kind of keep an eye on. If black ever moves this, bam, there's another tactic. So tough position for black to be in. I would be surprised if they find a move here that stops this threat. I would be very surprised. Yeah, they go there, but same thing I mentioned. We're going to take the bishop. Oh, we have checkmate. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that before. That's even better. Good game to our opponent. Let's see how we did. I think it was pretty well played. Yeah, 83. Okay, so we missed a few things. Let's see what did we miss? What did we miss? Okay, so I didn't like my gambit. That's one thing. Didn't like the bishop. Oh, that was not a big deal. Okay, I didn't like that one. I wanted the knight on f3. Interesting. To put pressure here. Okay. I guess that makes sense. It wanted knight to b5. What a interesting move. It wanted me to jump my knights over like this. Weird. All right. Yeah, some of these positions are hard to understand what the engine wants to do. Doesn't always make sense. Okay, we captured the right way. Okay, fine. Yeah, good move. All right, let's just see. So this would still have been fine, but what I was afraid of is that after black plays f6, well now I'm not gonna. I mean, I can't really go G5 immediately. I have to probably set it up with H4, and maybe it gives black time to sort of like defend and run the king over here, or I just didn't see exactly how I was gonna get through, right? So by playing F6 immediately, what happens now is everything is clear for my pieces, right? The squares here that I need to use are open. The king is open. And what happens a lot of times when you double up the pawns like this is it actually makes it, even though black has an extra pawn, it's like an extra pawn that's in the way. Imagine if this wasn't here, black could play like F5, and then this rook and the queen are kind of involved. The pawns sort of stop the queen and the rook from helping the king, is basically what happens. So you want to be looking when you're attacking for these little pawn sacrifices like that, because those are killer sometimes. That's what we saw here, right? Oh, I missed. Oh, queen e3? What's the point? Oh, it just wanted me to play h4 and just like attack like this, I guess. Let's see. What did it want? G5? Yeah, it just wanted me to bust open the king like this. Okay. Yeah, I guess that would have been fine too. I thought the way that I did it was pretty good. Oh, F5. I missed this one. I missed this one. Because of the queen. I don't really want to trade queens. And if I do something like this, I'm losing a piece. And Stockfish says I don't actually have a checkmate. Wow. What's the defense here? F6. Yeah, see, this is a good example. This is a good example. See how there's only one pawn here? Black can just move it forward. And now all of a sudden the queen is coming over and the rook is coming up. And I just don't have anything, right? Go back to this position. There's two pawns in the way. And so it just really jams up these pieces, okay? So yeah, I missed that, though. F5 would have been a... Now, once I get the knight here, it's over. Yeah, it's just over. Okay. So I think we learned something from that, right? What does rice cooker mean? I'm not allowed to speak about that. You have to watch the previous streams, I guess. Go figure out what rice cooker means. Did I update the wins? I don't think so, right? 180, where are we at? 187? I think 187. All right, guys. That's all I have. That's all I have. We did it. 1675. Thank you guys for joining. Hope you learned something. You often put your knight in front of the c pawn. Isn't that not ideal? It totally depends on what you're trying to do. In some openings, yes, you absolutely want to get the c pawn out first. A lot of those openings are d4 openings because here, like, yeah, this is where you really want that c pawn forward to help you attack, to let out your queen. But a lot of times in king pawn openings, it's a different story, and the c pawn is not really that important. A lot of times the queen is doing stuff on the king side or coming in the center, and it's not such a big deal. So that's probably why you see me do this, and you might see other players do this a lot. Probably because they're playing d4 more often. Yeah. Just came back from eating. Sorry, man. I gotta go take a walk, stretch my legs, and do it again. We'll do it again soon. Yeah, no problem, Luke. Thank you, guys. How did I lose twice? One was the rice cooker. One was... It was a mouse slip, but also the opponent just played a really good game, and I missed a tactic. I missed a tactic, yeah. All right. See you guys. Stay sharp. Play smart. Take care. And get up and stretch your legs if you haven't. Don't get a blood clot. Seriously, it's important.